Welcome to the Turn One Studio podcast. I'm Eliud Custodio with Turn One Studio, and here we sit with local business professionals. Today's guest is Phil Como, the Executive Director of the Smithtown IAB. Welcome.
Thank you, Eliud. Appreciate you having us.
It's our pleasure.
And I say us is because I represent not just me, but a whole school district and industry.
Well, that's a perfect segue because I was going to start off asking, what is Smithtown IAB?
Smithtown IAB is partnerships between industry and education. It's actually providing students with opportunities to really, explore their career pathways through internships, shadowing, guest speaking appearances. It provides industry the opportunity to see the skill sets that are being developed in school, helps them talk to us about what's needed in our workforce. It provides students, once again, the opportunity to really find where their passion is. Because in this world, you have to either like or really love what you do in order to be productive as someone in a career. Because that translates to everything in your own life as well as being successful in your work. So what does the Smithtown IAB mean? It means partnerships to provide opportunity and work experience to focus our future workforce. That's truly what it means.
Fantastic. Mm-hmm. All right, there's a lot to unpack here.
Mm-hmm, sure is.
So what's exciting to me is I've obviously heard of college internships, but we're talking about high school level. Is this common with other high schools?
Industry advisory boards were started 50 years ago. And actually, Smithtown was the first. Susan Goobing established it in 1977.
Really?
She was the work-based learning coordinator. She ran the co-op program that you might have heard in high school where students went to a career course and then they went on the job and they earned credits, and it was a shared kind of combo.
Okay.
And she had the vision. She says, you know what, instead of me going out and finding the industry, why don't I bring the industry into the schools? And that grew since 1977, where now our industry advisory board has over 700 industry partners, with our school district.
Wow.
And when you say what is an internship, like college compared to what we do, students have the opportunity to apply to internships that are offered from our industry partners as one of the perks. There's so many other ones. But that's just a side perk where, if a marketing company says, I'm looking for a student who's good with social media, and I have a lot of students because that's what their generation's grown up on.
Sure.
I will place them in a digital, virtual. Some of these kids are working virtually at home with these marketing agencies, and they're learning on the job if they like that career. So the Industry Advisory Board is really a massive organization that provides such support to our schools to provide students with the insight of where they really want to be in the future.
That's fantastic. Mm-hmm. Now, it's been a while since I've been in high school, but I imagine it's still the same in that come college time, not every kid knows what they want to do. I imagine, I guess that's an understatement. So I imagine this program helps solve that problem to a certain degree.
This program is, there are not, Smithtown is not the only industry advisory board, and that's what IAB stands for, Industry Advisory Board. There are other school districts across Long Island that are slowly developing across districts. It's an initiative that we're actually trying to encourage right now, and I'll explain that a little bit later on.
Using Smithtown as the model?
Smithtown has been the model, because it's the oldest and it is the largest.
Okay.
So when we have other school districts that have, and they kind of say, do you know what I should do? They'll come to us and say, try this and try that. And then we have some school districts that want to see ours. So they're interested in building their own or establishing their own industry advisory board. So yes, Smithtown is definitely a model because it's been started so long ago and it is so large. And we run so many different programs. It's not just the internships, the job shadowing, the career preparation. Throughout the year, these industry members are involved in our career events.
Okay.
I'll give you one for example,
please,
if you don't mind. In October, we just ran our STEM Roadshow. Okay. Normally, in years past, we had a STEM trade show where I would have over 35 tech companies come to the library at West, High School West, and I'd have about 120 tech students literally go around as a real trade show. They would set up their real booths. But over the last 2 to 3 years, I changed it to the STEM Roadshow because I felt that students are going to benefit more than just walking around a trade show and seeing a table. I wanted them to be in the actual industry, in the business, to see what's actually going on.
Okay.
So we had about 80 students on 2 school buses. We traveled to 6 different tech companies. We crisscross. We have a schedule starting in Nassau County and Westbury and Hicksville with Designatronics and Orlicon.
Nice.
And we move forward and we end up at Suffolk Community College to see their advanced manufacturing program. So that's an example of all of our industry partners working with us to coordinate something that is a career awareness, to give these kids that experience that is going to help them make a decision.
Yeah.
And, fast forward, we have our financial literacy conference where the 14-member banks that are industry partners, they literally set up a conference, 20-minute seminars on financial literacy.
That's huge. We need more of that.
Yeah. So just an example of it's not just internships, shadowing, in-class presentations. We utilize our industry partners to build bigger career awareness programs.
And you're making them more interactive.
Yeah, very much so.
I always remembered field trips and such in school. That was always more memorable to me than someone showing up in a classroom. Change of environment, the excitement of going on the bus. I'm glad to hear that's still a thing.
Let me ask you something else.
Sure.
I call it that light switch moment.
Okay.
Do you have a light switch moment in your life that made you say, wow, I think I know what I want to do?
Well, I went to college for computer graphic design. That was the official major name at the time. They were happy to have that distinction. And we put down the scissors and the construction paper. That was the result of me always being into art as I was growing up, but also being into technology. This is a long story I won't get into now, but I spent a lot of the last few years of high school building computers and running a bulletin board system, a BBS back in the day, which was a pre-internet thing. And I probably would have done a lot better at school had I not been doing that. But it consumed me. I loved it. And when I considered what to do for school, computer science was kind of an option, but computer graphic design felt like it was melding the two. And that was the light switch moment, I suppose. I realized, I could put these two passions together, do creative stuff, and also play with the tech.
Well, so you had that light switch moment.
Yep.
I coined the phrase light switch moment because my goal is by doing all of these events, trying to target these students to explore and experience, there's going to be a student that says, wow, now I know what I want to do.
Yeah.
It's that moment where the light switch turns on from just being a high school student taking English, science, social studies, and math, and says, wow, now I know where I can use my skills, my personality, my knowledge to be happy in a career. For example, the STEM Roadshow. We went to a company, we toured IVCI, which is an audio video right here in Hauppauge.
Yeah.
And the kids they did a great job they had the robots and just fantastic.
That's a cool facility.
It is really cool. And as the kids were walking out, Keith was the tour guide, great guy. And the last girl goes, can I ask you something? He goes, what? And he goes, how long has this business been around? He says, it's been about 30 years. I never knew that they actually had a business that did this because this is exactly what I want. And he just looked and smiled, and I said, now you had that light switch moment. She says, yeah, I did. And from this point on, she's been in contact with me, and I'm going to try to keep it going where she wants to, kind of end up. So that's what we're looking for.
Yeah. I feel like growing up, you have multiple light switch moments. And I think about my nieces when my little niece was super little. What do you want to be when you grow up? First off, I want to be a mommy. A couple years later, I want to be a doctor. Now she wants to be a vet. And this is awesome because you're catching them at that really vital moment where they need to understand this stuff before higher education.
Right. Well, experience. Those light switch moments only happen when you're actually experiencing something.
Correct.
If you stay in your room and you never go out and to go to that meeting, there's so many meetings you say, oh, I don't want to go to that meeting. And you say, you force yourself to go and you meet that one person, you say, thank God I went to this meeting.
Yeah.
I met a key individual, and you have to be out there explore.
I love that you're bringing that up because you're helping them understand networking and the power of relationships, which is huge everywhere, especially on Long Island, in addition to understanding the industry.
Yeah.
That's an awesome perk.
Yeah.
So are the kids, obviously you have some that are receptive. Are the majority of the student body receptive to this? Are they into the idea of getting involved?
It's growing.
Okay.
We right now, the Industry Advisory Board is focused with our CTE program, which is Career Technical Education. That's tech, family consumer science, and business.
Okay.
However, we don't exclude. We involve some of the programs with the medical field, with the science department, because as an IAB director, I field so many resources that come to me from the medical field and programs that I get emailed from all them to list them on.
Yeah.
And if I see something that's going to benefit a science program, I will forward it to the science director.
Yeah.
For example, like Northwell has a program called Medical Marvels, where students get into teams and they do a small mini medical research program.
Oh, that's interesting.
And they present. All right. So we have one team in the science department and we have one team in the tech department. So I don't limit it to CTE. That's our core. But I also want to provide opportunities for every student.
Is there a career path that's not as popular these days as it used to be?
Unfortunately, and I think it's because of the stereotype of it all, the trades.
Okay.
The trades are in need. And
For sure, yeah.
I actually run with our guidance department a trade fair in May where we bring about 20 to 30 locals, the New York State Department of Labor, training programs in schools. We have Senator Matera, who's our keynote always because he is big on trades as part of local 200 Plumbers Union.
Right, right.
And our first year we had about, I'd say 50 or 60 parents and kids attend. It was an evening. Last year we had over 150.
Okay.
And it was really encouraging to see that more and more parents are starting to buy in that, there is absolute career pathways with trades. And then I'll get a parent that says, you know what, I don't want my son to be working with his hands in a labor. I said, you're missing the point. I said, he or she will be working for the first 5-10 years, yes, and learning the skill. But then they're going to be entrepreneurs.
Correct.
Because they're going to open up their own plumbing place, electrical shop, and now they're going to be entrepreneurs and business owners. You're missing there, so they have to understand a little bit more.
Are they, and I guess by they I mean both the students, the parents, the companies giving opportunities, are people more sensitive to, when it comes to something like the trades as one example, sensitive to the growth of AI and how certain trades, like plumbing, are very difficult to replace with artificial intelligence? In other words, are they understanding that with this technology and how it affects certain career paths, that opportunities they may not have paid attention to before make a lot more sense now?
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Okay.
The fear of AI, which is a fear, yes, but we haven't really found out exactly because
It's early days.
it's early days, and life is a vacuum. When one opportunity goes, there's another one that comes up. Okay, and there's going to be other jobs that are created as a result of AI.
Sure.
All right, and I'll answer your question with the first part. When I visited Designatronics and spoke with Robert Kuffner, the CEO over there, he said he said something amazing. He says, J.P. Morgan has just invested $1 trillion, not billion, dollars in robotics for manufacturing. And I said, okay, well, how is that going to help you? You design gears and parts. He says, all those robots use our gears.
Gears and parts, yeah.
So he says, we have to be able to have an expansion plan, and we don't have enough labor to even think about going 2 to 3 times the size of what we need to handle that load. So if you think about it, AI, robotics, and everything else goes with automation, there's something that has to be serviced with it.
Right.
There's another job that's created with it as well. So it's a change of the mindset,
Sure.
paradigm shift, work, and I think we're going to find our way.
To a certain degree, it mirrors going from horses to automobiles.
Right, exactly.
And that opened up a massive industry. Horse industry didn't fare so well, but it opened up a ton of opportunities. I see that with AI as well.
Right. So let me tell you a little bit about myself. Do you mind?
Please.
I am all about passion and career pathways. A little bit about my story is I'm the youngest of 6 boys. You know, my father was an immigrant from Italy, and he was so proud because he was the only one of 6 that actually went to Stuyvesant High School
Okay.
to a master's degree in mechanical engineering and business administration. And he wanted to make sure that education was number one, and we all graduated with a degree.
Okay.
So we did. Most of us have masters. So when it was my turn, I said, let me go for finance because, A, I like money. Who doesn't? And it's going to impress my father. He's
Okay.
going to say, wow, I've got a financier here.
Right.
So I went to college, and I failed. I failed miserably
Okay.
because college taught me the content, but they missed on showing me what it means to be on Wall Street.
Okay.
They missed on teaching me the work experience side of it all. So when I made it down to Wall Street, even though financially I could do it, mathematically I was good at it,
Yeah.
it wasn't my personality.
Okay.
Okay, I'm more of a compassionate helper. And to be in Wall Street, you know, it's a tough dog-eat-dog world down
Yeah.
there. And to survive, the competition is fierce.
Mm-hmm.
And back in the late 80s, I got offered a position. This was the turning point in my life. I got offered a position at Bear Stearns as an intern, making $10,000 a year for 3 years. And then they would determine whether or not they want to keep me.
Okay.
And I said to myself, oh my goodness, what have I gotten myself into? And then I decided from that failure what I want to be. I was into the entertainment business where I sang and I ran a company, and I said, you know what, let's put entertainment with business. I want to be a business teacher.
Okay.
And my mission is to give students what I wasn't given, the opportunity to explore so they can find what they love.
Yeah.
And that's why the Industry Advisory Board, when I started working for Smithtown, it was like a dream come true. Somebody said to me, this is the place you need to be.
Yeah.
Because it offered exactly what my passion was industry providing these students with opportunities to explore, find really what they want to do, and find that light switch moment. So that's my story and why this is more than just a career for me. This is a passion. I want these students to network, learn to network, to find their way.
That's fantastic. Well, without your program, they'd have to pretty much jump in with 2 feet to find out if they even like that career path.
Yeah.
That's a commitment.
Yes. But if we have parents on board, school district on board, industry, which is obviously on board because they see the future here on Long Island.
Yeah.
You know, it's good, but it's also bad. Meaning we've got growing industry on Long Island that people don't know about, from manufacturing to healthcare, and we're losing our students. They're leaving because it's too expensive. Well, it's kind of like which came first, the chicken or the egg? It's expensive, yes, but if we have jobs and those jobs grow in areas, salaries will increase,
Right.
and we'll be able to kind of reset and be able to live here again with the growing industry. So my other passion is to keep kids on Long Island.
Okay. So what are your thoughts on the efforts to build housing with the intent of supporting that? And I ask that because I'm not an expert in this space,
Nor am I.
but a lot of what I've heard, the new construction that they're building with this premise winds up being very expensive.
I know.
So it again, not an maybe I'm missing something, but is it defeating the purpose, or am I missing something?
Well, I think the mindset's changed. They're doing a lot of vertical living.
They are.
You know, so everything's vertical, you know, above shops and whatnot, and a lot of by transportation hubs to provide people the opportunity to actually go into the city and some more. I don't know the answer to that question, to be honest with you, because you're right. As soon as we have another development that's opened up and we have vertical space, the people are actually, now all of a sudden rent's gone up to $4,000 a month.
Exactly.
Because there's such a demand. There's such a demand where people can't afford, young people can't afford, just married, they can't afford to buy a house that's $1 million and 20% down on that. Who has that? So they live with mom and dad, save their money. So I think the competition right now is so, and the demand is so high that anything that's offered out there is being grabbed and get for the top dollars. What is the answer? I hate to say expansion, but I hate to say it. Expansion probably in different ways of living.
So here's another thing I don't understand about that. we hear a lot about people leaving Long Island. But the way supply and demand works and the way houses are priced now, maybe the answer is lack of supply. But for all the people I hear about leaving Long Island, we still have a ton of people on Long Island. And we talk about having to expand housing to support even more people. But people are leaving Long Island. What am I missing there with that math?
Well, I think the age group in Long Island is older.
Okay.
I don't think it's a younger group anymore. I mean, not anymore, but we all know that the baby boomers are still here. One of the reasons why healthcare is exploding on Long Island is because of that.
Right.
You see, not to put a plug, but the Bristol assisted living centers are opening up everywhere.
Sure.
To accommodate the increased need for assisted living. So I think the population is old. I think the older population is not selling yet. They're holding out, okay, which is driving price as well, because there's no inventory.
Right.
All right. That might be a solution to the problem as well. Once those aging people age out into the assisted livings more and more, that'll open the
Loosen
supply
the market
chain
a bit, yeah.
and hopefully provide people with better opportunities and moderate price.
Interesting.
Yeah, well, listen. And they're beautiful, these places, too.
They're
like
gorgeous.
resorts.
Yeah. I understand how they're getting top dollar. It's just, I know that wasn't the intent in a lot
No.
of those situations, so it just never computed for me.
Yeah, no, believe me. I'm one of those situations where I would love to move out of my home and go to a simpler townhouse.
Yeah.
And I'm literally paying the same amount.
I know.
So why? Why would I do that?
Right.
So I stay where I am,
So let's go back to you for a moment.
Sure.
What do you like to do for fun?
What do I like to do for fun? I know where you're going with this one.
You can share whatever you want or what you don't want.
Well, listen, as a teacher, you have to be an entertainer.
Okay.
Because you know what? For those people who are watching this, I'm sure everyone out there has had a teacher in high school that you snored in their classroom. All right? Because they taught content.
Maybe.
Maybe not, right? And there's nothing wrong with that. That's public education sometimes,
that's growing up.
And you have to find ways to get the attention of the students, entertaining them. And you do wild and fun things, just to kind of get involved. You'll create lessons that are not just read. I've never, ever taught a class lesson that was directly out of a textbook.
Okay.
Read chapter 3, answer questions 1 through 10.
Right.
I mean,
That's an opportunity to go to sleep.
it was always, let's do a role play. Let's get a guest speaker.
Okay.
Let's have a short video series that, kind of brings together the meaning of everything we're doing. Let's go on a field trip. Let's play a game that kind of ties in everything that we're learning. Simulations and role playing is my number one thing.
Okay.
Yeah. What do I like to do for fun? All right, you're going to get me to say it. I have an entertainment company that I have owned for 30 years. It's just me. It's not a whole team,
Okay.
personalized, and it's grown. And I love to sing. I'm a singer. All right,
Nice.
that's what I love to do. I play music, but I also singing is my passion.
Okay. What instruments do you play?
Play around with, fool around with. I wouldn't qualify them as play.
Okay.
I like to play around with the piano, and I like to play around with the drums.
Oh, okay.
And I was a trombone
Those are
player
not easy.
in high school as well.
Very cool.
So, but I had all of my brothers were musicians, every single one of them. We all played music.
Music in school is important. That was a big factor for me.
Yes, music develops skills and that are immeasurable.
For sure, yeah.
You think about math. Okay, you can rate a test and you say you've learned how to, do, the Pythagorean's theorem. Great, you got it,
Yeah.
which is wonderful. But when it comes to music, there's an internal skill set that's developed. There's competence. There's critical thinking that goes along with knowing how to move, when, how, go, pitch, tempo, fast, slow,
Yeah.
following your conductor, following social cues. So there's a whole, and
And the art of improvisation.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's why I encourage special needs programs to have music as a component. Chorus, simple instruments, whether it's just a percussion session where these students understand. So I'm big with special needs as well.
Fantastic. Before we wrap up, how can folks get a hold of you? And is there any ending message you want parents in particular to hear?
Okay, well, a couple of ending messages. Get involved with local industry, okay, network. We have the HIALI, which is a huge industrial park, second largest in the entire country, which is so proactive in their committees. They get it. They get where it's not just let's feed business, but let's feed the community to feed business, where there are so many outreach programs. They get involved with our schools. They allow us as schools to participate with business. So these students are actually involved in business. They actually participate in the trade show.
Right here in our backyard.
Right here in our backyard, resources. So number one is look what's in your backyard. There is a whole wealth of networking and knowledge and opportunity right here in the park, the industrial park. And look at your parks by where you live. You know, there's the MacArthur Business Alliance Park, which is growing and huge. Another resource for Long Island and for students to network and find out, you know, internships, possibilities. There is resources here for you to actually find that career pathway. And that the light switch is important. It's that moment where you say, wow, now I know what I want to do with my life and be happy with it. So how do you reach me? Well, I am an employee of the Smithtown Central School District. I am the Industry Advisory Board Coordinator and the Work-Based Learning Coordinator as well. You could reach me at my email address, pcomo@smithtown.k12.ny.us. If you need any information, you want to call, you want to get together, have a meeting on what I do and how we can build new networks, all for our kids. And in closing, and I know I've spoken a lot.
This is great.
It's cyclical. I mean, business can't exist without what we provide, the students, the employees. And if businesses don't realize, like the HIALI, that they have to develop outreach programs that kind of reaches to the community and the schools to really build the awareness of what's needed in industry. Were you at the Long Island Workforce Summit?
I was.
That I ran
was
with,
wonderful.
with Terry. You know, Terry Alessi.
That was a great collaboration.
That's an example.
Yeah.
You know, Terry and I got together and we shared the idea of, you know what, with the changing graduation requirements in New York State, where now students can graduate with a career pathway, as opposed to making them pass all 4 regions, of which you might not be good at math.
Right.
And we're forcing a kid to sweat it out.
Right.
All right. And they may not even ever work with math. So what are we doing? What are we doing?
Yeah.
No disrespect to math.
Sure. Math understands.
So the idea was, with these changing requirements, let's bring a panel of industry members to say, this is what we need in our growing economy on Long Island. And don't tell other business teachers, because we already know that. Tell the school counselors. And school
I loved how you had all those teachers in the room to hear that as well.
Right. So the counselors start to say, all right, maybe it's not all of the AP classes, and maybe not every student should go to college. Maybe some has a career pathway in the trades that we're missing.
Yeah.
Don't waste their time. Get them. And if they don't know anything, go to Suffolk Community College.
Yeah.
There's, so many programs.
That's a killer resource.
It's a buffet menu of programs that you could just pick and choose and find out what you want to be.
Yeah.
And not have to leave home. And it's cheap. It's cheap. So, the initiative from the conference was to really push career pathways so students have more exposure and they find out where they want to be, keep them on Long Island, inform them of the growing industries right here in their backyard, and build success. Truly.
Love it.
That's it.
Phil, this is awesome. Thank you.
I appreciate the opportunity.
I appreciate you coming on.
Spread the word, the good word.